children, good morning. Welcome back to our English session. Hope you all completed your worksheet and you understood my previous videos. Yes. Okay. Let's start with our previous video itself. Before start our today's session, let's have a recap. Okay. Yes. Do you remember the title? Yes. The best Christmas present in the world. Here, who wrote the letter? Yes. Jim wrote a letter to his lovable wife, Connie. Yes. And our author, that is, what's our author name? Yes, Michael Morpurgo. Michael Morpurgo bought one old, that is, old roll-top desk from a junk shop, and that was damaged. So he started to repair it on a Christmas Eve. That time he got that letter from the desk. So he hesitated to read that first, but curiosity made him to read. So he started to read the letter, and in that letter it was there is the letter written by Jim to his lovable wife Connie. Okay. Yes, and also in that letter it was mentioned as this is Jim's last letter which should be buried with me. Okay. So that means Connie kept that letter very safe, and for her this is a precious one. Okay. So in that letter Jim explained about his Christmas Eve. Okay, how he enjoyed with that opposite. Actually I told you already, Jim is an officer of, yes, British Army, and with that do you remember that German Army officer? Yes, Hans. So how Jim and Hans talked together, and how the other soldiers enjoyed themselves on the Christmas Eve. This only he has mentioned in the letter. Okay. Yes. And also at the end of the letter he mentioned, I said, for the next Christmas I will be with you. Okay. So that means he will return home soon. Yes. Okay, after that letter there is the third section. Let's see that. Page number 14. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. So he is telling, the author is telling, after read the letter, he just folded it safely and he kept it inside the envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. So the whole night he read the letter. No, that whole night he didn't sleep. He was keep on thinking about that letter. Okay, and he was thinking the next morning, what should I do? Where should I go? Like that he was thinking. I drove into Bridport, just a few miles away. So he drove into Bridport, just few miles. What is that Bridport? Do you remember Bridport? I already told you in the previous session. Bridport is a place in England. Okay, and it is the address mentioned in that letter. So he was looking for that address. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Beach was. So there was a boy and he was asking the address. Where was that? Copper Beach. Copper Beach was the place. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell. So he got that address and he just went there. Nothing was there, just because that was burned by fire. Burned out shell. There he was seeing only burned out shell. The roof gaping, the windows boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of Mrs. Macpherson. So no one was there. That house was burned. So he was going to the next door. He just knocked the door and there was an old man. And he was asking about Macpherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well. So that old man is telling, yes, I knew her very well. In that slippery voice, that is the old man knows, so his voice is not clear. Okay. A lovely old lady, he told me, a bit muddle-headed. See, what is muddle-headed? Muddle-headed means in a confused way. Okay. But at her age, she was entitled to be. Wasn't she? 101 years old. And he was telling, that old man was telling to author. So she was a nice person, she was a nice lady, and now she was not here, and she is 101, that is 101 years old. See, 101 years old. Who? Macpherson, Mrs. Macpherson. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. So he's telling, so when that was fire, that lady was inside the house and no one knows how that fire started. And he's telling, it might be of candles. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. So instead of using electricity, she used candles because she thought electricity is too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in a nursing home now, he told me. Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of town. So he's telling, so the fireman saved her from the fire at the last minute, and now she is not here. She is in a nursing home. Where's the nursing home? Burlington House. No, Burlington House. So it is nursing home. Okay. So now she is in a nursing home in the place of Burlington House. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. So now the author is going to that nursing home. Easily he found that address and he reached the place. There were paper chains up in the hallway and a lighter. So there were paper chains up. So there were paper chains up. Paper chains means we use the paper chains for decoration. Okay, if there is any function in our home, what we do? We just decorate our home with that paper chains, paper. Okay, color papers. Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angel on top. So Christmas tree stood in the corner. So in that corner, he reached the nursing home. No, so he is describing about that nursing home. So it was decorated with a color paper, and there was a Christmas tree in that corner. See. Lopsided. Lopsided means it's not straight, it just bended. Okay. And there was on the tree there was an angel. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. So he is introducing himself. I am Macpherson's friend, Mrs. Macpherson's friend. I am here to meet her and to give her a Christmas present. I could see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. So through the window he is watching. The other people will be in the nursing home. No, they were wearing a hat and they were singing song because it was the Christmas Eve. Okay, so they are celebrating the Eve by singing a song. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. So the matron, who is matron? What is matron? Matron is the person who is the in charge for that nursing home, that is head of that nursing home. And she also wearing the hat and in that group, and by seeing her author, she was very happy. Okay. She even offered me a mince pie. She also offered him a mince pie. Mince pie means one kind of non-veg dish. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in which the others, she told me. So both of them were walking in the corridor. That is Arthur and Matron. They were walking in the corridor. That time Matron was telling to Arthur. Mrs. Macpherson is not in this group because she felt little bit tired today. So we made her to take rest. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in with the others, she told me. She is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. So she is taking rest. We made her to take rest. She has no family, you know. No one visits. So Matron is telling she has no family, you know that. And no one has visited her till now. So I am sure she will be only too pleased to see you. So she is telling, so no one had visited her till now, so she will be very happy by seeing you. She took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs and potted plants all around and left me. She took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs. So that means, see in the picture, see she is Mrs. Macpherson, and she is sitting in a chair. See, conservatory means a kind of glass home. See here, you can see the glass is made up of glass. And potted plants all around and left me. So there were some plants. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair. So she is sitting in a wheelchair. Because now she is, what's her age? 101. So she is very old, no? She is not able to walk properly, so that she is sitting in a wheelchair. Her hands folded in her lap. Her hands folded in her lap. She just folded her hands on the lap. She had silver white hair. Here the author is describing Mrs. Macpherson. Okay. She had silver white hair tied into a wispy bun. See, she had silver white hair. So silver white hair. She is 101 years old. So how her hair will be? It will be in the black color, silver color. So she had silver white hair tied into a wispy bun. Wispy means untidy. It's not good to see. It's not beautiful. Okay. Wispy bun. That is her hairstyle. How her hair was. He is describing the hairstyle. See. This is bun. Is it? Her hairstyle. Describing the hairstyle. She was gazing out at the garden. She was gazing out at the gazing. What is gazing? Gazing out. Gazing out. Gazing out means look out. She is sitting in the glassed hole. So she just looked through the glass. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. So after reached her, she's just saying hello. She's I said she turned and looked up at me vacantly. She just turned and looking him vacantly because he doesn't know who is he. She doesn't know who is this person. Why do he? Nothing she knows. No. So she just vacantly looking at him. Happy Christmas, Connie. I went on. I found this. I think it's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. So he is introducing. Hello, Connie. How are you? Like that, she asked, and he was just telling. I think this is yours. He is showing that black tin box. Inside that only the letter kept. No. So he is showing that. I found this. I think it's yours. I found this. I think it's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. So when he was speaking, he just looking him. He didn't move anywhere. His eyes didn't move anywhere. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. He just opened the tin box and gave the letter to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. See, suffused, that is, lit up means because bright with happiness, lit up, and suffused with means by seeing that letter, she was very happy. Her face was very bright, and she's very happy to see that letter. Here, he just describing her face reaction, how she was. I explained about the desk, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. So he's explaining how he got that letter, that and all he was explaining, but I don't think she was listening. But it's not like listening. She's not listening what he was talking. For a while, she said nothing. For some time, when he was talking, she didn't say anything, but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. So she just get that letter tenderly means gently. Gently she get that letter from him. Suddenly she reached out and took my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. So suddenly what happened? Suddenly she reached out. She just asking go nearer to him. Took my hand. She just took her hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. Her eyes was filled with tears. You told me you would come home by Christmas, dearest, she said. She's asking. You told me no, that on the Christmas day you will come like that. You told me no, like that she was asking. And here you are the best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim dear, sit down. So, what happened? Mrs. Macpherson misunderstood that the author is Jim Macpherson. Okay, she misunderstood because now she is very old and her mind also not in a steady way. So, she misunderstood. Author is the Jim Macpherson. Okay, so that she is talking. You told me that you will come on that Christmas Eve, no? Then why now when you are coming? Like that she was talking. And she is telling, you are the best Christmas present to me. Come close, Jim dear, sit down. So she is calling, come close, Jim dear, you just sit near me. Like that she was telling. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheeks. So author also sat near her and Mrs. Macpherson kissed him. I read your letter so often, Jim, every day. So she was telling to author, often I read your letter. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. So she is telling, I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel you were with me. So if I heard your voice, I feel you are with me. And now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. So now you are back. So please you yourself read this letter one more time. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? So she is asking, would you do that for me, Jim dear? Would you read this letter? Yes. I just want to hear your voice again. So she is telling, I just want to hear your voice again. I would love that so much. And then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan. So I already told you, marzipan is a kind of Christmas cake. All around. I know how much you love marzipan. So she is telling, you just read this letter. I want to hear your voice. I love your voice, and you just sit. Let's have a tea, and afterwards let's have a cake which you like very much. I know you like the marzipan cake very much. So let's have that. Like that she was talking. Okay. So with this our prose ended. Yes, you all understood. Yes. See how actually she understood the author as Jim Macpherson. Okay, Jim Macpherson. So that she was talking. Come on, dear, you just sit near to me. Please read the letter. Like that she was telling. See, so her soul was waiting for that lovable person. Okay, so that her attitude has changed like this. Okay, understood? Yes. Before end our session, let's go for a quick recap from the beginning. Okay. Yes. So our title is the best Christmas present in the world. Okay. So here our author Michael Morpurgo went to a junk shop to buy a old roll top desk. So that was damaged. So he started to repair it on a Christmas Eve. That time he found a letter. In that letter, it was mentioned. Okay, the letter should be buried with me when the time comes, like that and all. It was mentioned, and the date, everything was mentioned in that. So it was the letter written by Jim Macpherson. Mr. Jim Macpherson to her to his lovable wife Connie. Okay, so Jim Macpherson is an officer in army. Okay, he's an officer in army. So he was writing about that. He is in the British army. Okay, so he's writing about that British army and German army, how they enjoyed the Christmas Eve, that and all he explained. Okay, so with that and he told for the next Christmas I will be with you, like that he told and ended the letter. Okay, and he read the letter. What our author is doing, he just kept it safe and he decided to meet Mrs. that is Connie. Okay, he decided to meet Connie and give the letter to her. So he got the address and visited the place, but she was not there. Now she was in the nursing home. So he reached the nursing home and introduced himself to the matron, and then he met Mrs. Macpherson, and there Mrs. Macpherson misunderstood him as Macpherson. Okay, and she shared her love to him. See how her soul was waiting for that. So from this, what you understood? Yes. So see her feeling. Okay, that is the best Christmas present. So the letter is the, see, whenever we are giving some present, it is not like an object. It's not like it should be an object, expensive object like that. Sometimes it may be feelings. Okay, see here our Jim Macpherson had that feeling that Christmas day. He told, this is a good day for me. This is a good present for me. I enjoyed with the German soldiers. So this is the good one. This is a good present, he told. And here Mrs. Macpherson is telling, you are returned today. You have returned to me now. So this is the best Christmas present to me. Is it? So this is how the author ended the story. Okay. So whenever we are giving present, it should be a lovable one. We should show our love to them. Okay. That is the main thing. Even though it is an expensive object, it should not better than our lovable thing. The love what we show to others. Okay. So always we should be kind with others, and we should show our presence to others, how we care them. Okay. Yes. You just go through the lesson and complete your worksheet. Yes. I hope you all understood this lesson. Is it? Yes. Okay. Let's go through it and let's meet in our next session.